Married at First Sight UK. Episode 17, Part 1. In this episode, we have all the couples, the last 5 couples, going on their final dates before making their big decisions. Starting with Taya and Adam. These two started with a helicopter ride. Yep, a helicopter ride. Not too sure I can do that. To be honest, not much happened there. They were just sort of, very lovey-dovey, very gushy. Not much was said, just I love you, I love you, I love you. And that really was it. But going on to the picnic that they had afterwards, they were just going through how far they've come within this experiment and how it's all worked out for them. They talked about the dog they're going to get. Then Taya said something about the only big problem I have, the obstacle we need to get over is the coffee table in his front room. Oh, I remember the coffee table. There's nothing wrong with it. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. She just kept going on about the coffee table. But at the same time, behind her complaining about the coffee table, he only agreed to let her have free reign of the house. Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did. Oh, you're probably going to regret it. You probably will. But you know what? You two are so in love. You can't see the wood from the trees at the moment. So I'm going to wish you luck there, Mr. Adam. Moving on, they were also touching on how they seem to finish each other's sentences. And you could see that. It's sickening. It is. Oh, I'm just jealous, that's all. But anyway, I wish some luck. I do wish some luck. Moving on to Frankie and Maralise. These two went on a horse ride in the country. Yep. Maralise looks like an expert. Mr. Frankie, however, dear. I don't know what he looked like on the back of a horse. It just wasn't going as well. So Maralise, as you know, had the upper hand in this activity. Moving on from there, they both had lunch, I believe, in some sort of log cabin restaurant in the country. Very pretty. Maralise started this conversation by asking Frankie about the L word that he dropped to the boys' day out. And he turned around and said, yeah, I did say that to the boys. I said, Maralise is this, this and this. That's why I like her and I love her. Something like that. But at the same time, he's not in love just yet. He said he's on his way to falling in love with her. That's what he did say. And with that, Maralise's response was, take your time. Take your time. Yeah, she's not quite ready yet. There's a few red flags that she's still got to deal with, such as him moving, him maybe wanting kids. Yeah, there's a lot riding on her that she's unsure about. For her to say, take your time, I get it. He then said when talking to the camera that Maralise means the world to him. He doesn't want to pressurise her. He's not going to tell her he's in love with her, even though he probably is already. Yeah. So that's the sort of conclusion I've made of that. Maralise's next question was, I hope you're moving for the right reasons. Because from what I gathered at the beginning when we were talking, if I was single, you would have expected me to come to Dubai. But now you know I've got children, you've had to make a U-turn in a way. That's virtually what she was trying to say. And is that really what you want? And then to add to that, Maralise did say, I hope I haven't disappointed you because I have got children and I can't move to Dubai. His answer behind the children's situation was, we all have ideals of what we would like ideally. And he did turn around and say, when applying, that ideally she doesn't have children. Ooh! Yes, he did say that. Like I said, Mr. Frankie's very blunt. He doesn't mince his words. He says it as he sees it. Oof. Maralise's face when she was speaking to the camera afterwards. She said she was offended by his comments and that maybe he's not for her. Yes, that's exactly what she said. She doesn't want to waste time, she says. Maybe he is not for me. Oof. This could be a deal breaker. But one thing I will add on to this, with Mr. Frankie, he's 47. 47. What were you expecting? I don't know what age group he was going for, because there must be a bottom line to the age that he was looking for. Marilise, I believe, is 36. And 8 times out of 10, you're going to find women by 36 would have had at least one child. At least. So really and truly, you weren't really thinking. You really weren't thinking. Strangely enough, just as I said in regards to the age and his expectations of having a single woman without children at his age. Exactly what Marilise just said. Exactly what she just said. She took the words out of my mouth. And then he goes and puts his foot in it again by talking about his ideals. Before starting this experiment, ideally, I wish for somebody to come back to Dubai with me. So now she's got 2 things against him. The children thing and the Dubai thing. So I'm not exactly what you wish for. That's really what she's saying. Now he's trying to backtrack. This is painful. So as far as she's concerned, she's disappointed you twice. That's what you're saying. When talking to the camera, Marilise that is, about the children's scenario, this is the first time she says she's hearing this. The very first time she's hearing this from the horse's mouth. Now she's questioning the whole relationship. The next question she asked him is whether he's 100% about making the move from Dubai to England. And he said, yes, I'm 100%. I've done it before. A lot of what I do is on gut instincts, and my gut has always been right. And me making this move is definitely right. That's virtually what he said. Her next question was, how long had you been considering coming back to the UK before this experiment? And he said, never. Ooh. Direct. No, never considered it. Wow. Not too sure what to make of that. Marilise for sure was shocked to hear this. She was like, wow, that's crazy. Yep, that is crazy. Now hearing that, and like I said, he's been living in Dubai for 16 years, and him wanting to make the move now it just feels like added pressure. Yeah. When speaking to the camera, that's what she said. It feels like added pressure. The last discussion of the day was about children, whether he actually wants children. And he turned around and said he would like. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. He's 51% wanting kids, 49% no. And she's very much on the fence as well, because she's not too sure whether she wants any or not. And the thought of having a little Frankie running around, she says, oh, I don't know whether I can handle it. Yeah. Plus, if they were to have kids, he'd like to make sure that her children are involved in that conversation too. Yeah, that's virtually what he did say. So that is the end of their date. Moving on, we have Matt and Dan. Their date was on a yacht. So a nice day out on the ocean. Ideal for Dan, as he said. This is where I'm in my element. They too were talking about how far they've come in this experiment and how they've found each other. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah. And now it's all about the big questions that need to be asked. Whether we can move forward from here. Like I said, Mr. Dan wants to stay in Northern Ireland. Matt really wants to stay in Leeds. Can they find a middle ground? We're going to find out. These two were still toing and froing with where to base themselves. Dan's so set on Northern Ireland, he ain't budging from that. He's not budging. No, he's not. No. Looking at the bigger picture, he's saying he could do 4 months with the back and forth from Northern Ireland to Leeds, and then it's decision time. Where are we going to base ourselves? Yeah, that's how direct he's been. But as I said, he's not budging in regards to Northern Ireland. He's saying that they could find a middle ground where they can move to a totally new place together for maybe a year or 2. But then, like I said, eventually he wants to be in Northern Ireland. That's the be all and end all. Yeah, he ain't moving. Done. End of story. He's not moving. When Dan asked Matt the question, Matt was saying that he doesn't really want to leave his family and his friends in Leeds. And that's where his roots are. That's where he's been brought up. So Leeds holds a big place in his heart. And at the same time, when he was speaking to Dan, he was saying that I was actually hoping that you would come to Leeds eventually. I was hoping that I would be able to sway you. But we can see that's not going to be the case. It's not as easy as he thought. No. Now we have the both of them questioning themselves whether this can really work. Yep, that's where we're at. Ah dear, we're just going to have to wait and see now. So on that note, I'm going to leave it here. If you like what you've heard, please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.